All right.
3, 2, 1.
Play ball!
Play ball!
I think that worked. I think that's
Okay.
good. Well, welcome back to the S.L.I.D.E podcast, everyone. And this is the episode that I think I've been looking to probably the most. And I think some of our listeners are really excited about getting a chance to hear this one as well. So this episode, I'm Coach Aaron, by the way. Today we're talking to baseball travel ball moms. And yeah, we talk about it on the show a lot with the drama and all the fun stuff that happens. And I thought we needed some expert opinions on the show. And what better way to do that than have some of my friends hop on and have some conversations. So I want to introduce everyone. I want to give you guys a chance to tell a little bit about yourself. But joining us today is Renee, the baseball mom. Hi, Renee.
Hello.
Chow, the baseball mom. Texas, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
And Gadir from Raising
Hi.
Ballers. Hi. And Tracy Bond, we couldn't finish this without you. So hello. All right. Well, we have got a lot of really cool, fun stuff to share. And look, we usually start the show with just some talking points, but honestly, let's just throw that out the window and let's just get started. So, Renee,
let's do it.
I know it.
Oh,
So,
boy.
Renee, you're first up. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
Yes.
How long have you been playing baseball? I'm just kidding.
My walk-up song, right?
I know it.
What's your walk-up song?
Yeah. Oh, girl, I got that ready.
She's ready.
Right?
She's ready.
Right.
All right, but
The
look,
bat-
tell
my
us a little bit.
bat.
Tell us a little bit
Yes.
about yourself, where you're from, and let's just stay in the theme of what's your favorite cereal.
Okay,
We always
sounds
ask
good.
this.
That's
Yeah.
really loaded. So hey everyone, I am Renee. I'm on Instagram known as Renee the Baseball Mom. Some of you may know me because my son is Mateo the Baseball Kid. So he actually has been a member of the S.L.I.D.E podcast family for quite some time, and a field reporter as well. So I've had the chance to work with Aaron on several pieces of content, but also meet in person this past summer at Banana Ball, which was huge and amazing. Aaron, you slayed that. Unbelievable. I can't wait for us to get back out there and do that again. That was great. So, but yes, I guess just a bit about me. We've been doing organized baseball, so starting with rec ball at 4 years old, t-ball, and from that first signature of I'll be the team mom, started then. And then dude fell in love with the game, as you hope so. And I want to say 7U was our first stint with travel ball, local organization here in the South Bay. He joined there and just kind of, shell-shocked. Roster of 16 kids, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like herding cats. And how do you even, have something 7U that's travel ball that's like elite level, right? And so, you don't know any better, so you join, and the adventure started there. So we have moved, different organizations. We've, gone into training and development, and me personally, just on the travel ball mom journey, has learned so much. And I think one thing for me, getting to like how we're content creators is just, I never want him to be like a basket case. Like, so just my life depends on travel ball and my results. I wanted us to be able to take our fun moments and how, we just see these certain things and we apply them to content. And, if other people relate to those things and, can get a peek to our crazy lives, then we just feel like we're making an impact on the game, even just a little bit if the right person sees it. So, I think that's kind of where we've got to where we are in terms of travel ball content. And, it's brought the kid and myself some pretty cool opportunities, in terms of meeting like the Valley Boys and being cast on their show. And, of course, just different, connections with like Bruce Bolt and Baseball 101 and just different brands that are really, really cool that excite the kid, Plate Crate and whatnot. So I don't know. We'll see what the adventure, what it looks like. But that was never the intent. It was literally just to have fun with baseball.
Well, that's it. I think all you ladies do that in different ways, forms. And so, all right, Tracy, you're up next.
So my name is Tracy. It's at Tracy Bond on Instagram. I am a certified personal trainer, group trainer. I teach a lot of senior fitness as well as youth athletes. And we have been in travel ball in and out. We started with rec about 6U, and then obviously COVID hit. And so we went into coach pitch, and then we ended up with a development style travel ball team, which I will forever be grateful for. I mean, I look back, we lost every single game, but I think it taught my son at that age that winning is not the most important thing. He was very humble when he lost versus, same thing when he won. And we were with a organization here in East Texas for a while. And he recently just, kind of wants to pick up. We left our old organization due to some issues, and we kind of just wanted to take a break. He does mountain bike racing a lot too. So it's kind of hard to pick and choose. And, when he came to me about just saying, I need like time to step back, I was like, let's just enjoy it. Especially coming from myself, I played the game for a long time, and I want them to just, like Renee said, your value is not in that game, especially when they're so young. I want them just to enjoy it. So,
Amen.
Miss Chow.
Hello, my name is Chow. My Instagram handle is Baseball Mama _Texas. I have two boys. I have Bradley, he's 9U, and my older one is Mason, and he's 12U. We are new to the Houston area. We started baseball Little League in Connecticut, where select ball really isn't a big thing. One day Mason was swinging a wiffle ball bat in the backyard, and we're like, hey, he looks actually pretty decent. Do you want to sign up for T-ball? And that's how our journey started. And then Bradley just kind of followed along in his footsteps. We moved to Texas, immediately signed up for Little League for both of them. And someone said, hey, do you want to sign up Bradley for a tryout? And I'm like, for what? And they're like, for select ball. And I'm like, what is that? I'm like, okay. Went to try out. We got an email, and they're like, hey, you owe $300. And we're like, and they're like, you have 24 hours. And we were like, we have no idea what is going on. We literally had no idea.
yeah.
So now they're both in travel ball. Bradley going on his
They got her.
season with his team.
She was
and
hooked on like a fish.
season. And I'm like, okay, so now this is our life. And I started the Instagram page just thinking like, let me just put all their little fun stuff on a page. And then I made a silly reel about how stressful I was when Mason started kid pitch. And that reel just kind of went off. And I'm like, hey, a lot of people can relate to this. So we'll just continue. So yeah. And my favorite cereal is Kellogg's Toasted Crunch with almonds.
Oh, there's a cereal.
That's a new one.
Okay.
That's a new one.
You got my cereal.
Yeah, Tracy, what's your cereal?
Cereal.
Fruity
I'm like
Pebbles.
even Googling. But yeah.
What'd you say?
Fruity Pebbles.
There we go.
Oh,
That's Lee.
how you did that.
I missed the question.
What's your favorite cereal? Go ahead, Renee. Go ahead, Renee.
I'm very type A. We got to answer all.
Man, favorite cereal. It's going to be like such an old lady grandma cereal. Don't make fun of me.
Frosted Flakes.
Oh my gosh. Is it that like brand stuff?
It's the raisin one.
Raisin Brains.
Cracklin Oat Bran.
Stop.
Cracklin Oat Bran is fire.
Oh my god, you are hilarious.
It's just like oatmeal cookies.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. I've never tried that. So Fruity Pebbles is winning right now with cinnamon toast.
No, Cocoa Pebbles are better. Cocoa.
Cinnamon Toast
Fruity
Crunch
Pebbles.
is like a second though. Cinnamon Toast is running second.
That's in reference
I do love
to
cinnamon.
a show.
He doesn't know that. He probably.
I know. I don't
never
think anyone
seen
picked
that
up
show.
on that.
No.
Okay, Aaron, have you ever
Yeah.
seen Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? Okay, ask your wife about it.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it
She
either.
hadn't
Don't feel
watched
bad.
Should we
Oh,
watch it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Oh yeah.
And
Is
you'll
it a reality
understand the
show?
Fruity Pebble.
You'll
Yeah.
understand the Fruity Pebbles.
Okay.
I will say,
Everyone listening right now is
yeah.
Googling right now. So.
Yes.
Yes. What are they talking about?
All
Google
right,
the
Like,
mom
we're
talk.
down.
Google the mom
We're down
talk.
to our last introduction, and Gadir, ma'am,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks
I'm
for having
great.
us on the show. I'm really
You're
excited about
welcome.
it. So I am the founder of Raising Little Ballers, and I actually didn't start it as anything. It used to be called Ball Boys. My kids wanted to start an Instagram selling t-shirts, and they wanted to make all these shirts or whatever. And then I tried to help them, and then they didn't want to do it anymore. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take it over and just do. So I just called it Raising Little Ballers. And that's how that started. But it was just like me, like documenting their journey. And it was my oldest at the time. He was 9, I believe. And just started travel ball. And, I walked into complete chaos and I was like, what is this? And, my husband played baseball all his life, and he was like, travel ball is very new. This is not what it was. This is not, there was no. He was actually one of the, he grew up overseas and he played in the Little League World Series in Poland.
Oh,
That's so
wow.
cool.
And so for
That's so
him,
cool.
this is like, this whole travel ball world is just nuts.
I bet.
So yeah, he's, well, I just learned how nutty it is, being in this for the past few years. And so that's how I started Raising Little Ballers.
All right. And if you had a
Yeah.
favorite cereal, what do you think it would be?
I don't eat cereal, but Cinnamon Toast Crunch, maybe.
Oh, see, I just gave her that answer. She
I
stole that.
know.
She's trying to take over my Fruity Pebbles.
Well, my kids eat that one, so I'll, but.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, look. So thank you, ladies, first of all, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. I know we're gonna have a lot of fun. So I think the first question is like really, what's been the biggest difference? Because I think each one of you ladies have acknowledged this. Is what's been the biggest difference going from rec ball to travel ball? Like as a parent, what have you noticed the biggest difference are or is?
Okay, who wants to go first?
Yeah, I mean, because I guess as I brought it up, I'll take that one first. I mean, for me, the biggest thing is, again, it's the parent element shows up in a different way, at least in my community. So the parent element is very involved. You got board members that are very involved with making things happen and organizing it. And then, of course, then you get I'll go ahead and say it, the perception that there's, nepotism and favoritism. And, there's this.
No, never.
Yeah, never those kids making the all-star team over like kids that are actually better, like that never happens. So, and again, I say perceptions because, I can't be the decider on that, but you get
Like perception
that.
is reality. That's how I look at it.
Aaron
Perception.
said it. I didn't.
Yeah.
But the idea is, at the same time, I understand you're a board member, you're putting in the work, and sometimes it's a lot of work and you're willing to step up and other people aren't. So you feel like your child should have access to certain opportunities. I mean, that sounds like a whole show, right? Like we could talk about that all day long.
Oh, yeah.
And then of course the dads usually, I'm sure there are some moms, but dads are pretty much the coaches and they are running the draft and they are making the decisions. And same thing. I'm the coach. I'm going to put little Johnny, my son. He's going to be the pitcher, even though he can't pitch. He's going to be shortstop, even though he can't run. Right?
Y'all want to know a funny story? Moms are not allowed to coach in my area.
For real?
Really? Why?
For real. I even offered to like one of the guys, we ran into each other at the gym. That's and weird. He's on the board. And I was like throwing out there like, oh, if y'all ever need like help with like the volunteers, it's like, I played softball and I played tournament ball for a long time. I was like, I wasn't some just, nobody. And he's just like, yeah, we really don't have any moms coaching. And I was like,
okay,
that is so weird.
And it was odd because I said, there's so many moms in this area that a lot of us have played at like a high level of softball that, we still know certain tips and tricks with the game and everything. But I thought, oh, so it's like a boys only type club for that kind of thing.
That's crazy.
Did you take that statement one step further and say, that's fine, but I'd like to be the first?
No, I should have.
Ooh.
I said something a little less PG.
So yeah, go figure, right? And I'm sure that
And
isn't
then
an
I,
actual rule. It's
yeah.
just a social rule, and like that's the stuff I'm talking about.
That's
Yeah.
stupid. That's
But
stupid.
as
We
far
left Little League because of the whole daddy ball stuff. And we
right,
left so young. Like Vinny shouldn't, I mean, being 8 years old, 7 and 8, you should still play Little League. You know, you should
Yeah.
still be in that world of like, instead of jumping from tournament to tournament and like tryouts and all this stuff at 7, I just, it's the dads are ruining it
It
completely.
It got
is.
too much.
it's the dads coaching where you're not quite sure. And again, I would like to think that they mean well, so I don't think every dad that volunteers is going in there thinking they're going to favor their child. I'm sure there's dads that
Yeah.
actually their kid probably actually gets the reverse effect. Like they probably get less because they're so focused on trying to not show favoritism. But I do
Yeah.
have a story because it's funny, Gator, that you said that 7 or 8 is when you guys left, right? Same.
Yeah.
We left at 8 years old because I was just like flabbergasted about like, I guess the injustice, if you will, that I observed. And there was an
Yeah.
incident where there was a player who was like a bigger boy and he was rounding third base during a game and just slapped the third baseman in the face. Like I have it on camera on my GoPro.
Oh my God.
And this kid had demonstrated
Like on
other behavior
purpose?
issues in the past, like throwing his helmet, kind of like scoffing and kicking dirt at the umpire. And it's like there were clear set conduct rules on behavior. And it's like, yes, he was a kid. He's a year older than Mateo. So I want to say he was 9 at the time. So still a little kid. But at the same time, like, because your child, you can't rein in your child's behavior, like that should not put the other kids at risk. So like even after getting a couple warnings, everyone was pretty much like this kid should be suspended or at least not all-star eligible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that kind of made my eyebrow raise, and just the way they were so like they didn't handle it well. It was just like, no, he's a little kid, we're gonna like let him slide by that. And they didn't let him do all stars, but they did let him return back to the league the next time, and his behavior continued. So there was just that I thought was strange. And I felt so bad for the kid that got decked in the face. And it was his
That's
first
so
year
sad.
playing baseball.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he was
Oh,
was he
that's
trying to
terrible.
high five the kid maybe and just like
No, it was just
so
like,
it was
It's like a boom.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
get out
Well,
of
let
the
me tell
Yeah.
way.
you,
It's like ludicrous.
it
We need
doesn't
to
get
see
better
that
in
video,
travel
Renee.
ball.
Oh yeah, it was bad. I know it was like, and then the other thing is that video somehow circulated everywhere, and I have no idea how that happened.
Never. Don't have a clue. But oh my gosh.
There
That's
was that, and then the last story I have to share about that. So we're in the middle of a championship game, and I know this one's going to burn me if anybody listens because it's very specific. But we were in the middle of our championship game for our division, and our team had not lost a game. So if you guys know how brackets work, like if we were to have lost that game, we would get another game. But because we were undefeated, if we won that game, we were the champion. Right. So we enter that game, and it's literally the third batter is up, and this kid is like waiting to, take his at bat. And the mom from the other team storms onto the field during mid game. Okay, so the pitcher even is like, well, what is our team mom doing walking out on the
Like,
field?
what are you
So he
doing?
like steps off. She has a clipboard in hand. And she's, trying to call the coach from our team over. And then the umpire comes over and I'm like, what is going on? And so I'm like turning down the music because I'm DJing, right? And like trying to be nosy and hear like what's going on. Well, she's insisting that the Little League advertise this as the championship game. So the winner of this game should therefore be the champion. And we're like, it's a bracket play. Like that's it. The brackets are posted. Like, what are you talking about? This argument proceeds for 20 minutes to where they will refuse to continue to play until the president of the Little League shows up to like,
Oh my God.
to straighten it out. I can't even make
It's
this up.
a game.
And the kids Mateo was 8 years old at the time. And so we were like 8 to 10 years old because it's that minor division. And we're like, the kids are like, what is going on? And like, they're bottle flipping in the dugout and like, getting a mess. And finally he's like, okay, this is it. Sorry. We've explained it. This is the championship game. So she storms off and we play. Well, we've lost 20 minutes of game. So we're getting our butts handed to us. We end up being down like by 7 runs. And then of course it's just like, come on, universe, are you serious? And by the grace of God, things turned. And then, we're running out of time. We end up 1 run ahead. And then the blue turns to our coach and says, we're at time. What do you want to do? And we're like, we'll take the win. Thank you very much. And they were so pissed on the other side. They're like, what do you mean? We only played for an hour and 20 minutes. And we're like, well, no, You
No,
guys
you held
wasted
it
like a
up.
half hour arguing over craziness,
Yeah.
and we'll go ahead and secure the championship. And it kind of sucked to win that way,
Oh,
but it's
totally.
and so looking at like a situation like that, I'm like, I can't deal with this emotionally anymore. We're out. We're gonna go try travel ball and do that full time.
That's
So
Yeah.
insane.
that's my story.
I can't
Wow.
imagine you've experienced a lot less, but we'll save that one. Gadir,
Yes.
like, so what have you experienced as you entered into travel ball?
We actually just fell into it because we decided to leave Little League when a coach, imagine a dad, told my 8-year-old that he sucks at baseball. He will never play baseball, all this stuff. And I was just like, what? There's no way.
A
And I
grown
was like,
man?
a grown man told my 8-year-old that. So instead of my 8-year-old being like, I never want to play baseball again, it put a fire under his butt.
It
And he
always
said,
does.
and he literally said to me, he's like, can you put me in lessons? Can you get me hitting lessons? Can you do this? And like, I think he just turned 8 at the time. He has a
Yeah.
late birthday. It's like May 22nd. And I was like, okay. So we left Little League. That was the end of it for him. And we just found, I didn't know anything about travel ball. Nothing. I didn't even know it existed. I knew there was club soccer because my neighbor had a kid in club soccer and I thought she was insane that she was driving to Norco every weekend. And I was like, who does that kind of stuff? Like literally that's where I was. And then we jumped into it and we found a place locally. And then I was like, ooh, this is like a conveyor belt of like, I can't say the name, but we found another one and he tried out for it. And the coach was amazing because he was like, he's 8 years old. He has a whole journey ahead of him. Like we can get him there and stuff. And so we joined that organization and it was great. And that's how we ended up in travel ball. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's
But
let me
it's
tell
the
you,
adults that ruin it for
it
kids
is.
in general.
Yeah.
It is. I mean,
It
Sometimes
totally
the
is.
coaches, but the adults are, everyone says, kids are ruining Little League or whatever it may be. And I'm like, no, it's adults that are
no,
ruining that kind of
and you know
stuff.
what? It's also the board members. The board member that I
Yes.
reached out to at the time, I had told him, hey, like, what is happening? This is Little League. Like, he's not even 8 yet. Like, what are you guys doing? He goes, well, we're very competitive here. And I have the email still.
Oh
Because
my
I
God.
just
Oh my God.
Really?
held on to it.
Yeah.
And he told me, he goes, if you want something less competitive, go somewhere else.
See, that's wild to me because I think
He
Little League
was 7.
it's designed for everyone. So like even that kid that like is kind of late probably to our standard, that's like 10 years old, signing up for the first time, should have the ability to play equally,
Yeah.
and
100%.
yeah, a lot of travel ball kids do go back to Little League because they want to rake or they want to join All Stars, which they have the right to do because that's their community. So we do have that as well. But in fairness to Little League, I will say at a certain point, at least for us, I want him to learn how to play baseball the right way. And so like I can't emphasize that enough is you're not going to get the right way in Little League. It doesn't matter how great the coaches are and how like let's say you have the best board members on the planet and everything's like super kosher. I still like if you have hopes to play at the high school level at like 10, 11, 12 years old, developmentally, like you need to have like a very sound foundation in technique and baseball IQ. And I just don't think Little League is it. It's what gets you to love the game at first and get a kickstart for it to like want that further investment. But like you're not going to go and be like making your varsity team off of Little League. I know that's a probably a controversial statement when people hear that because I know a lot of people did, but it's a different
it's reality. It's
a
reality.
different reality of it. And
So,
so
I
like
mean,
for us, we're playing Dixie this year. So we wanted to go back and just kind of see how it is. We haven't been back since we were 7. And with Dixie, there's the difference between going from travel ball back to Little League is we can't steal, we can't pick off, anything like that. It's a little different, but I also look at it as, okay, he's going to get just playing time with friends and all that kind of stuff. We'll deal with the politics of it later because we all know even in Little League, there's just those politics with baseball that happen. So
yeah,
yeah,
always the
that's
case.
I actually loved our little league experience. So I'm like,
You're like the unicorn. You've got like the
Okay,
best
hold
coaches, the
on.
best team,
I should
everything. Like
I do.
I should
you're so
clarify
lucky.
that it's not every little league. We moved from
Yeah.
little league to pony, and
What is
it has
pony?
been pony is like
13, 14.
Oh, is
no,
it
no,
13?
no.
Not
It's
Oh,
in
no.
no,
Houston.
no.
Not
My
in
little
Houston.
one is in it too. Pony is
Yeah.
it's like
Oh,
I don't know. So you can play. It's not like little league rules. Like you can
Okay.
steal, you can pick off, and you can use USSSA bats. It's not USA
Okay.
bat only. And they have like their own select team, whatever. But
but
my
as you
middle one
progress,
started
though,
there.
you as you progress, though, you move up to more mature horses, right? And I'm not. That's
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So it's
Maverick
like
and
Mustang and all that kind of
yes,
stuff. Yeah.
yes,
So
I know
my
what you're talking
other
about.
two,
You'll move
my
up to the
other
Colts.
two went there
Yeah, there
and
is
they are
Colt.
very happy.
We have two
Colt?
little.
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah,
We're in a Houston suburb and we're very heavily populated. So we have two little leagues. And honestly, every
Yeah.
single little league, I don't know, I may just be very rare, but both of my kids, I absolutely love their coaches. I really appreciated them volunteering because they could have been on another team with a guy who just did it because they were
Oh,
forced
for
to.
sure.
So we got really lucky in that regards. The
Yeah.
only reason we left, honestly, which controversial, but I just felt like a lot of people were signing up their kids who didn't love baseball the way my
Mhm.
kids did. My kids were like really wanting to make plays, and when the coaches are screaming, hold the ball, when my kid's like, but I can make that play and I can get that kid out. That was our red flag that was like, it's time to go because these
Yeah.
kids are
Yeah.
putting mud in their gloves in the outfield, and my kids actually want to learn the game. So I think nothing against the parents because of course you want to encourage them to be active and play as many sports as you can. It was just I don't think they were in love with it the way my
Yeah.
kids were.
Yeah.
So
It was just free time for them. And honestly,
yeah.
it was just it was kind of
babysitting.
like whenever, when my husband and I come from the era where like you didn't really pay for Little League back then. You just signed up. They didn't have
Yep.
groups and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I mean, it was just sign up just for whatever, just kind of get some free time from the parents and everything. And it's come so far from what it used to be now.
Yeah. Well, I know
Yeah.
travel ball, and we're going to talk a lot about probably the opportunity side so much, but I definitely agree. There is definitely a time and place where travel ball has to enter in and chow, like you said. Like sometimes it's just your kids want more of a competitive environment.
Yeah.
But I mean, in travel ball, like you're going to practice multiple times a week, right? And in little league and in rec ball, you're going to practice maybe once, maybe
Yeah.
twice. And if you have two games that week, you're probably not even practicing at all. And then you get maybe 2 to 3 at bats per game. So I mean, your sample size, like kids honestly, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this is, but like my frustration as a coach is just getting kids to practice when they're home. Like, I
Yeah.
see kids with the heart, the desire, the passion to do it. And then parents have just got to reserve a little bit of time for some instruction, but give a kid a tee. Like I have begged so
Yeah.
many parents, go get your kid a tee. And I'm like, well, he gets bored. I'm like, I don't care. Like this
See,
is
that was my
Yeah.
background. So I never got to do Little League or anything like that. My mom and dad always signed up my brother, which he was an amazing baseball player. He played with a lot of pros that started in our area
Mhm.
and went on to the major leagues. But it was literally, I taught myself through watching my brother's baseball games and everything like that. I taught myself softball. They did not come out once to do it. And which I think that's why I'm probably so on top of my son, like at home. Hey, I don't care if you're out there doing the wiffle ball with your sister. She's got a better swing than he ever did at 5 years old. Just do something. You're being
Mhm.
active, be proactive with it. I just always have that mindset. I don't ever want to tell him, hey, you need to go outside and practice. No, you need to take a accountability and go do it, the initiative and everything like that. So I think a lot of it is there's some parents that may be controversial. I'm about to say it. There's some parents that do not want to even put the work in. They feel like, well, they're old enough, they can go do it themselves. But it
Or
also
they
gives you an
expect the
opportunity.
organization to do it. They expect
Yes, or
the
they expect the
Yeah.
organization or
Yes,
the
coach's
coaches.
fault.
And, you know, when we played travel ball, we were practicing 2 times a week. And then we were also doing lessons once or twice a week as well. And then also at home skills and just doing that. But there was a lot of parents that they did not put 1 ounce of, there was a few on our team. Their kid did not pick up a tee, nothing. They just relied on practice. And it was frustrating watching my son kind of put that extra work in and these other kids get certain positions that they didn't even practice or even earn, honestly, if I'm being completely honest. So
Yeah.
it may ruffle some feathers.
All right, let me ask a question. Whose baby plays
Sure.
shortstop?
I mean, I have
Renee.
one that plays.
But I played shortstop too.
But
in all fairness, he is a middle infield and he'll do second, short, or third.
Yes.
So like this weekend, he spent a lot of time at third, and I'm all there for it. You know, I mean, I think kids at this age
Yeah.
should be playing all over. I want to
Yeah.
say
I
one
agree.
of the biggest complaints parents do have is when a kid is locked into a position too much.
Yep.
I think it's usually them complaining because their kid isn't getting opportunity in a particular place, but regardless, like I hear stories like MLB stories, right? Like Austin Barnes. He was a literally killer shortstop at Riverside. Grew up in Riverside, local kid, was amazing. There's articles about him in the local newspaper. MLB drafts him and they're like, you're a catcher. So like my whole thing is like they shouldn't be playing in one spot at all. They should be trying everything, and they may not want the like stress of the bump, but like give it a try, you know, like that way you're familiar with it. And same thing with like I think outfield gets kind of poo-pooed on as well in those younger ages because there's this person again, dad coaches that mean well, let's put little Timmy out there who probably isn't as strong in right field, and then holy shit, in travel ball right field you better be like Mookie Betts, like the fastest guy that can like drop those bangers, right? Like those bombs.
You better check that ball, Johnny.
Yeah, everything goes out there. So so again,
do not pull Aaron Judge.
Well, my first kid is a lefty, so he didn't play obviously short. So, but my middle one did play short and does, but on this team that we had just recently left, he never played shortstop. And, you know, he was excellent, like third and outfield and stuff. And I love seeing them everywhere versus just locked into one spot. But he was locked into third and outfield, and he was excellent, you know, for a 9-year-old, you know.
See, that was Carson. He's locked in. He loves third and outfield. He likes infield. I mean, he'll tell you, like, I like playing infield. It's not bad. I know the positions, but he's like, I shine in outfield, which makes me happy because I played both infield and outfield, and I was a savage in outfield. I absolutely loved that spot. I probably got the most cardio conditioning I ever had as a teen in those. I mean, it was just like, and someone has said to me, they're like, oh, you're just in right field. Like, you're just covering that spot. I'm like, no, you're not. You're backing up center. You're backing up first. You're being a cutoff for second. Depending on if center's not doing that, you got to go to those positions too. I'm like, there's a lot. The one that I hated the most, I did catching for one game, and I took my mask off and I told the coach, take me out. I'm not meant for this.
Catchers are built different.
She's going to kill me.
Do we got that on video? We got that on video.
I think my
We need
mom
to see
has
that,
it.
Tracy.
Yes.
Yeah.
The coach looked at me. She's like, put your mask back on. I'm like, this big hoss is going to kill me with her pitches. She was insane, like on the diamond. I was terrified. I was like, do not hit me with this person.
You
should reenact that. You should that would be good content.
That would be funny. Yeah,
that would be funny. That would be really funny. We need to see it.
What's funny is my mom still has my old softball uniform. I probably could squeeze into it if I like, you know, put some things on.
And I don't know how he does it. Just watching him makes me hurt, but he loves it. And I
give so much credit to catchers. Like it was, and first of all, it is so hot carrying all that weight. My son did it for one practice and he liked it, but the next day he's like, my knees like hurt.
Kids me.
So, yeah.
I think it's like meant for adrenaline junkies, because I think that's
Yes.
For
like,
sure.
that appeals for
100%.
Mateo, is he's just like, I'm involved the whole time. Like
Yeah.
the ball's coming to me every
They're
single
like ping
thing.
pong,
I
like they're
feel
thinking
for
of
him.
everything.
I really feel for him, because anytime we pick up or scrimmage or do like middle school matchup or anything like that, and they're like, what positions do you play? As soon as you say catcher, you're locked. That's it.
Yeah.
I actually
It
have
is.
been begging my kids to play.
I
Yeah,
know. Nobody
there's
wants
something
to catch.
about people always wanting cut, and I get it, like it's a great position. It's like the eye of the storm.
Mhm.
But it's like the minute you say that, they're like, "Oh my gosh, okay, you are on this team for the next 5 seasons." It's like
Yeah.
such a hot spot. Maybe
Yeah.
it's because
Well, I mean, it's
there's not
hard.
people that can do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Pitchers and
even
catchers,
even
like
filling out
gold.
like even like for running a tournament, for example, like we get
Yeah.
all the individual signups. Like the first 2 things that we have to identify are pitchers and catchers, because every team's got to have them. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, and it's such an important position, specifically in kid pitch as you get older, of course. But that's you got to find a good catcher. That's the gatekeeper.
Gotta
that
love the
stops a lot of
catcher.
runs.
Funny story about Vinny, my lefty in Little League. He was dying to play catcher, and he played catcher the entire time until we left.
No way.
He was obsessed.
Oh,
I mean, it's a cool position. The
it
gear
is.
Yeah.
You're always
No, we have the $300 gear that he bought. Okay, that
See,
my lefty bought.
The minute our son said he liked it, I'm sitting there Googling, and I was like, holy cow, do I really want to drop all this money on catching gear? He may not like it. Thank goodness we didn't. I was like, okay, we're saved right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's just when you
gear
post
is
Facebook
crazy.
message, hey, I just need some equipment for my son to borrow until I can break him out of not wanting to do this again. So,
Yeah.
That's
Um,
true.
How do I detour him to do this?
yeah. All right. So there was
That's
a
so
post that was made by Legacy Baseball about a month ago. And you ladies are very familiar with this one. And we have to talk about it. So Gadir kind of started it. It was the one talking about parents leaving teams, swapping teams.
Oh,
remember? Now I will. Do you guys know who he is? I've had him on the show. So hold on, before we get to that, he runs something called Speedball. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
You guys should totally check it out, and I'll tell you about it afterwards. But yes, so Gadir, you took that. I shared that post to begin with, and then
I remember
you shared it, and I'm like, that's a different take.
Then she commented under my comment, and I was like,
what's the topic? I must have been Judy at that moment.
You were Judy that day.
I was on one with my, my rage stories that I do sometimes. I think I was just using my own experience in general, that it's okay to leave a team that is not a good fit for you.
Yeah.
And him saying like, you can't label a family, a team hopper, because that coach, that team, everything just didn't work for them. And so like a lot of the times people will say, oh, they're just a team hopper family. And like, I hear that all the time about certain people that play in this community. And it triggered me because also we were 1 foot out the door with our last team due to I don't want to get fully into it, but the coaching style was not a good fit.
Is it a bad thing to?
So he was saying, hey, I get his, my little AirPod just fell out. I get his point of like, people just chasing, rings. I get that. And I see that all the time. We didn't win like massive tournaments, but like we would win like silver bracket or whatever. Okay. And the amount of people in my DMs wanting to come play for our team, I'm like, just because we won, like, it's weird. I get that portion, but I was talking about like labeling families that leave teams that don't work for them. And that's okay.
Yeah. Well, because there are parents, there are parents that stay too loyal, I think, too. And I think that's what you were trying to get at that.
Yeah. Your travel ball team isn't
I
your cult. You can walk away.
No, you
Hey,
can
Yeah.
walk away.
I
And I think that's where,
totally understand that, but I just wanted to put my point in just because Bradley is going into his 5th season and Mason's going into his 7th season with the same team, which I feel like is like
you
unheard
are
of.
It's
like,
very
It's
rare.
absolutely
It's very
you are
unheard
rare.
of.
You are
Very,
a
very
rare
rare.
gym that gets so lucky with that.
Mateo
Yeah,
has
and that's,
been
I
on
mean,
6
I feel
teams.
very, very okay. No, I can't do that.
6.
I think there's just a negative connotation on team hopping. You have to find the best fit for your child.
Yeah.
for sure.
I am not going to look until I am unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I do see, I mean, our roster has changed so many times.
Yeah.
And I do see people who do it for reasons that I wouldn't leave, but I am not one to judge one family's reason for leaving a team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because I think I was honest with you guys. I know we left. We had no choice but to leave. Our son got cut, and it was not even over skill. It was very political. I mean, I just with our last coach, I will call him Timmy. I just don't do with you cussing at me and playing favorites and then calling me X, Y, and Z. I am very protective of my children and my family. And I thought I trusted you and I stayed loyal. And that's the thing that I think Gadir and all of us were kind of looking at that. There's no problem with staying loyal to a team, but not like loyal where it becomes toxic and if you leave then you're viewed as some random
Yeah.
person that's team hopping. But I do know there's people in our town, they will hop a team if they start losing 2 to 3 tournaments, and I'm like, so you're just going to hop from team to team? And there's one, she has hopped back and forth between 8 different teams. If they start losing, she's going to the next team. They start losing, she's going to another team. They start losing, she's going to another.
That right there.
Yeah.
That right
And
there is
that's
why
what
his
where it
point
I
could be
mean,
an
was.
issue.
Yeah.
what
I
does that
think
teach your son?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he
That's
said.
weird.
Is
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
what
And I get
what-
it. I got his point. But my
Yeah.
perspective was completely different because he was
Right.
labeling everyone who, and we were already like literally 1 foot out the door from our
Yeah.
organization. And I was using my own experience from it because if I want to leave, I'm leaving. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And like the thing is like, we can my kid, especially my oldest, he's tough. Like he can handle a lot. But I also have to still be a parent and say this is not a good fit for you.
Yeah.
For the long
You have
run.
to make that decision. And
You are the
And it's
mom
very
issue.
like
You have to
culty.
put your foot down.
Our team, whatever. I don't care. They're going to see this, I'm sure. But it was very cult like, and they don't care. Their kid is getting and they just stuck it out all these years. And I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, where is your backbone?
Yeah, I've gone
Well,
into it with
in the
like some
closet,
folks on
probably.
like an IG
Yeah.
post. There was one that I had did just this last summer. You guys might remember it. Like it's my best post actually, and it's just me and Mateo changing our outfits. That like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
And it
I
was
love
literally
that
just from a
one.
season. Yeah. But it was
Yeah.
just for a season, and like all these people were like, "Oh, this isn't the flex you think it is," and like, "Why do you guys jump so many teams?" And it's like, well, Little League seasons end. So he did two little seasons. It was like Banana Ball. It was like the S.L.I.D.E podcast thing. Like, it was a series of just different things. And then it got me to thinking, like, yeah, you should be okay with leaving a team. And all the reasons why we've left teams, when I say Mateo has 6, I actually think it's been more like 7. But the reason why is, teams dissolve. And unfortunately, here in South Bay and LA, there are so many travel ball teams. If you have 3 kids up and leave and you don't have a massive multi-level organization, the team is done. You can't stay on a team with like 5 to 6 kids and just kind of, you could and hope to wait out that you have tryouts and get more kids, but we have been faced with that like at least 3 or 4 times. And you're just like, are you serious? Or we've been on travel ball teams where it's like, it feels really good. This is great. And then kids go back to Little League. And then in that spring season, we didn't sign up for Little League. So then now we're not getting any gameplay because like half the team is not able to RSVP for tournaments. And then it's like, well, why did you sign up for travel ball? So we've
Mm-hmm.
had that happen multiple times where we've had to like look for a new home because we want to actually be a part of a team that wants to like have that sense of community and like not be cultish, but definitely like, yeah, like let's have pizza parties together and like let's bond and like have this
Mm-hmm.
experience be fun and
Be
not just
normal.
what happens on the
Yeah.
field,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So we found that now finally. So that is the huge win. We were actually
For
with this
this season.
organization
For
before.
this season.
So yeah, for this
For
Very
this
season.
for the
season, Renee.
As long as we
Stay
get those
tuned.
at bats,
Stay
guys,
tuned.
that's all that matters.
It
Oh
makes
my
me think
God.
of Mason's
No,
first ever select team went like 0-15, I think. And I just remember he never complained. And I was like,
No.
super proud of him because I'm like,
Yeah.
we are going to stick this through to the end of the season, which I
And
know
that's
can be
hard.
controversial.
That is hard.
Because a lot of people
Yeah.
are like, just leave if you're unhappy. Like, no,
Yeah.
you're going to finish out the season. The families were great. I'm not complaining about the coaches. They were amazing. So if all that aligns, we are not leaving unless it's like
Yeah.
a toxic environment and we
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
win anymore.
I
But
So
I'm
let me
like,
ask you
remember.
this, because you
Yeah.
bring this up. I love this point. I'm curious as to what has happened. So parents that complain if you're not winning, is that a thing?
It
That's
Like,
the
is.
is that
thing.
literally truly like, do you
not
guys have parents that are like, I want to be on a winning team and like, we're going to
Yes.
leave. We want to talk to the owner
Oh, yeah.
if like we're not winning?
and
So
that's
the
just
thing
Yeah.
I
real.
hear that, yeah,
Oh,
the thing
Oh
I hear
yeah.
the
Not
most,
even. Not
the
even.
umpire.
It's even the
The
younger
umpire
ones.
didn't like us
it's
today.
crazy.
It's oh my gosh, it's the field conditions. What's the one thing? This is I guess from a player stance, I used to hear this all the time, and I always look back at like travel ball parents are not as bad as it used to be. I mean, there was some crazy ones back then. The one thing I hear the most, what's wrong
Have
with
you been
him?
to
Why is he
Houston?
playing that way? What is wrong with him today? And I'm like, what is wrong with
Yeah.
you? Like they're kids at the same time. But I
Got
love when
it.
they blame the umpires because I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
then you go out there and coach. Like I love
Yeah.
our umpires that we get sometimes, but it
Well,
was
listen,
just insane.
umpires, they get very little money and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
take an enormous amount of abuse. I mean, but here's the
Big
reality.
time.
Look, leaving an organization because you're not winning. Like, remember what this whole thing's about. And this is my little rant, Renee.
Yeah.
But remember, like, we started this thing for the kids, right?
True.
Mhm.
If we make the decision and hopefully we're educated enough to make the right decision, put our kids in the best possible scenario so they can continue to develop. That's it, right? It's about the kids.
True.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we have to be role models for those
Yeah.
same kids. Every
But
time
deep down,
we get up, go ahead.
deep
Every
down, some
time we
parents
get
aren't
up,
like that.
No, they're
no.
not.
Every time we
Mm-mm.
get up, we're on stage for our kids.
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
we yell at somebody on the phone, we're on stage. And that's what I
Yeah.
feel like so many people lose sight of in youth sports, baseball specifically,
Yeah.
because like they think winning means their kids are getting better. And that's like kids
Yeah.
need to learn how to lose so they can learn how to appreciate winning. And
Yeah.
look, there's nothing wrong with
100%.
going like 0-16 in a season as long as your coach is involved.
Yeah.
He's keeping the morale of the team up. Like there's
They're
lessons to be learned there.
learning.
They're
I mean, for
learning.
my
Yeah.
kids at 12,
I
11,
mean,
10, 11, 12, they are learning how to play the game. So how do
yeah.
you expect them to go out there and just know what to do? Most
Yeah.
teams, I would imagine all of our teams are similar. We're practicing 2 to 3 times a week. And I
Yeah.
know all our kids are putting in extra work and extra lessons, but they're still like, and this is just a segment of their life. Let's not even get into the fact they still have academic
Right.
They got
responsibilities,
school,
chores.
homework,
They have
Yeah.
social, they have
Fortnite.
friends that don't play baseball that they have
Yeah.
commitments to. Like,
Fortnite.
you know,
Got to play Fortnite.
Fortnite, yes.
some kids like that, but yeah. And so like, it's funny because I just had a conversation with a mom, I kid you not, this weekend. And, because we're getting ready for Cooperstown, right? How many teams are at Cooperstown when you're there on a week? Like 68, 70?
I have
Yeah.
no clue.
Yeah. Oh, it's
A
like
lot.
70 teams. So we're
Oh
raising
my
all this money to do
gosh.
this. And this mom tells
Mhm.
me like, because honestly, we got smashed this weekend, our first like major smashing. And I was telling you this, Gadir, remember, like
I know, because our friends played them.
I was like, oh my God, girl. But like, hey, I was like, okay, it's okay. Cause like Mateo had 3 great plays and that's what I came
Yeah.
for.
Mhm.
Like, I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can keep their $5
You came to watch
pots.
your kid.
Don't care. So this mom is like really upset. And she's like, we got to work on this. We got to fix this. I want to call the coach and like, I want to talk to the program owner and we got to like get around this because I'm not paying all this money to go to Cooperstown and have this happen. And I was like
After one
honestly,
game.
granted, I was one Michelada in, so maybe I was a little too loose, but I told her like, hey, there's like so many teams there. And if you're like expecting that we're going to go there and like rake and like be, in like the top 5 even.
That's so funny.
Our first year as a team, mind you, like this is a new team that was just assembled like in September. Like we're like, girl. And I just like looked at her and she was like, what?
You're trying to get all the kinks out of everything. I mean, it's
right.
natural.
She's like, she literally looked at me and she was like, what? You don't want to win? Like, I want to be on a winning team. And I was like,
I also think
with my mouth, but I'm just like, are you serious?
Well, I also think the Cooperstown thing is because people are spending so much money to go there. They're just like, we don't want to go get killed.
You don't want to go home.
You don't want to. I know, but the mentality of these parents is like, I want to go with a winning team so I can have whatever,
Well, they're wrong,
but
and their kid.
I know,
higher.
It's the whole experience too. It's just like
it's a rite of passage.
It's a rite of passage, and I think people don't see that.
Yeah, and I don't know, Renee or Kadir, you guys know, like you're promised like 8 games. That's a lot in a week.
Yeah,
that's a lot of games.
Gosh.
It is a lot of games.
You're on a winning team, you're playing 8 games. Like, worry about having enough pitchers. That's it.
Right. I'm like, everyone's gonna have to pitch. Like, how do you?
Everyone needs to pitch. Yeah, at this rate.
Without
and you got to bring your own umpire. So
yes. No,
that's
it's weird.
That's so crazy.
So
hashtag Cooperstown.
Hey, I'll be the umpire. Let me just go with y'all. I'll be the umpire.
I have 0 connections in like Cooperstown, New York. I hear people are flying their own umpires out there.
Really?
Well, you can call Scott from Balls and Strikes. He can get you somebody out there, probably.
That's okay.
No, but you can get one from them.
No, I'd want a better, like, if I'm gonna do all that, I would want the dancing umpire from the Savannah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, we need to get him.
It's an official call out for him. We want you July 18th.
I want Mark Paul.
Oh yeah.
I would want Mark Paul because I think
he would
Mark.
Be... We should have brought Mark on this.
Okay,
Mark episode with us.
His son had a dentist appointment.
His travel ball mom otherwise he's not invited. He can't sit with us.
Yeah, so I did say something to him with he's got new shirts, and I was like, hey, you need to send it to like the Baseball Mom group, and so he's got some new stuff in it, but I am dying at like the new name of his team, the Daddy Ballers. I'm like, that is just perfect.
He's so funny.
Mm-hmm. He's coming to Houston soon, I think, for like a tournament, so.
Yeah, we need to get him on a call where it's like a roast. You know how they do like the Comedy Central roast?
Yeah.
We should.
We can do that. We should do that.
We should totally do that.
I'm just giving you the ideas, Erin. There you go. You can have different guests and
so we would roast Mark.
I got this.
Roast Mark Paul. I just want to wear like the little towel on my head and everything like that.
Totally.
Oh my God.
You want to show him what he's shown you. I got it.
Yeah.
He's so spot on. It's kind of scary.
He is.
Is he?
He's very spot. It's very spot on, especially with his outfield one. Well, I think it was his first one, and it was like all these moms on a bleacher. He's like, all these moms, they think their baby is number 1, and I'm like, my baby is number 1 out there. I don't care about y'all's babies. My baby boy is number 1.
Yep.
He's number 1.
He's spot on. He is
he
spot
made
on.
that 10, but he is number 1.
That's it. All right. So what's the most outrageous thing that you have ever experienced with a team? Good or bad, I guess we can go. Good or bad. Obviously,
so like
our
with
listeners.
A team or like with a opposing team?
We can go either way. I think that's an interesting take.
Had a baseball mom call me the "see you next Tuesday" word in front of my kid. They were delaying the game. You're just think on it later. We'll text you it.
I think I got it.
The fact that she said it in front of my kid, I was even more livid and even more mad that they delayed the game because they were cheating on Game Changer. And I
Oh, game
remember,
changer.
oh yes, she was just like, we were looking and we're
I
like,
cannot.
it's not even a big deal. It's a like it was a Saturday game. I'm like, who cares? But when she called me that because they were mad about something, and I'm walking up the stairs, and I remember telling the girls, I went red. I think I went as far as to pull the tournament director by his shirt to the umpire and said, if you
Oh
don't
my
get
God.
her out of here, I will
Look
drag.
at him.
Oh my God, Vincent! Hi,
Oh my God. What a nice
Aaron.
surprise.
He's like, ladies.
We're talking about all the drama out on the baseball fields and how fun travel ball is. And
It's caused by all the mamas.
yeah, it is.
Oh,
It is.
you're
Not
full
these
of
mamas.
it.
Not these mamas. These mamas have it under control,
Not
I
us.
Not
think.
these.
Nah.
Not these hoes.
But we were talking about Cooperstown, and you got to bring your own umpire, and
Okay.
they wanted to rent your services for the week and skip the world tour with the bananas, and just they want to pay you for the week,
Yeah,
man.
go
They
hang
like
out
your
with the
moves.
moms.
We need you.
Oh. So what week is that, Aaron?
Oh,
It's
you
week.
can.
It's week 18.
Well, Renee's July 18th.
Week 9. It's week
We're
9.
July 24.
July
When do y'all
18th.
go,
Hey, I
Sal?
called it. I got dibs.
I got
Y'all are
second.
all different weeks.
Yes. Unless Renee
Listen,
takes us with her.
You can just put me in your toiletry bag. I'm short enough. I can fit in there. I'll just travel with you. We'll go have.
I'm good, brother. I'm just working. Well,
Yeah,
you see it working. Yeah.
I
Just
see it.
Where are you
trying to
headed
sell some
to?
IT. I work for an IT company in Texas. So,
Oh, nice.
Oh, where
Oh,
in
you live in
Texas?
Texas.
yep, Northeast Texas, Texarkana.
Oh, I'm not too far from you.
Thank you very much, dude. I thought it would be awesome for you to hop in, just say hi. So,
Hello.
Yeah, I think
It's good to
we
see
accomplished
you.
everything. It's good seeing y'all
hey,
too. Hope y'all have a great day.
Take
yeah,
care.
Hey, can I say something before I leave?
Sure.
please.
Of course.
Just a little word of advice, okay? Your moms, and I don't know how many kids you have. You maybe have one, you may have two, you may have three or four. But just remember that the game is a game, and in baseball they're going to learn more life lessons than any other sport. That goes from the ball is close and the umpire calls it a strike and it should have been a ball. Just like in life lessons, we're going to have things that happen to us in life that aren't fair. We have no control over it. So just instill in these kids that it's okay if someone does you wrong, because that's not who defines you as a person. Okay, when they start searching for jobs, they're not gonna find their dream job right at first, and they may
That's
be
right.
turned down for that job. It's just remember that let these kids be kids, and when things don't go their way, just talk to them about never giving up and fighting for everything that they want in life. Because I promise you, life is a fight. Nothing's given to us; we have to earn it, and sometimes it's not fair. But
Message.
just continue. What happened?
That's a little,
Oh,
what
that
we
was just a
meant.
message moment. That was a message moment. That was
Hey, he's
great.
going to church.
He threw you a
I
curveball.
know. We were just
Inspirational
talking about
moment,
that
and
too.
and Aaron's like
I'm
trying
so
to mix
sorry.
things back.
Well,
I
I
thought
got
Aaron,
he,
you ruined the moment.
I did.
I
Go
thought he
ahead,
done
Vince.
went to church. I thought he went to church. I thought
No.
I was
He
preaching.
had me in my little feelings for a second, Aaron, and you
Oh my
ruined
God.
it.
I had to break
Oh
this
my
up.
God, Aaron.
I need these moms, Vincent. Like I need to get the fire going in them again, Vincent.
I
You're
got
trying
you.
to make them cry right now.
Well, it's really close to Sunday. It's really close to Sunday. I apologize for bringing that
Nah,
up.
preach on, brother. Let's go.
No, preach on.
Hey,
I
that's
love
good
it.
stuff, dude. That's good
I
stuff.
love it.
But
Great.
I think we're all on the
Yes.
same page. We were just talking about the other crazy parents.
Yes.
there's a lot of them. There's a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
unfortunately, most of those are married to coaches.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir. Ooh, shots fired.
Most of the time.
Shots fired.
I think those are the
This,
worst ones because that's the
I'm,
ones that everyone tries to be close to. If I get close to the
Maria.
coach's wife, now my son gets to play
my
more.
baby gets playing time. That's right. Well, I've done it
Oh
for
Well,
my,
20
because
years.
I'm
they
dead.
have to
Most
go
of the
home at the
pets,
end of the
nobody wants
night
to
with
talk to
their
the coach's
wives. They're
wife.
like, I got to do what she says.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
do what
What
she
was that,
does.
Vincent?
One question for you,
Oh boy.
Renee. What's in that Yeti?
Ah!
Being that I'm not at the ball field and my son isn't pitching, it's just coffee.
What
But
time
if
is it there?
he's out there on the bump, there's probably going to be some bourbon or whiskey in here with
Yes.
some like Coke Zero, if I'm being honest.
Maker's Mark, right? Maker's Mark.
Yes.
Ooh.
Love
Team
it.
Gentleman's Jack.
members.
Gentleman's
Hey.
Jack.
And Sprite Zero. Maker's Mark and Sprite Zero.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It just seems to
Renee.
make every pitch that your baby throws strikes. It makes the umpire more
No,
blind.
it makes
Yes,
me not
100%.
care. I'm like, that's the one thing is I'm the mom when I have my mommy juice. I'm like there for a good time. He's just having fun. The
Yeah.
umpire's just trying to help them out. Like I'm all lovable. Like it's a way opposite.
Oh my
effect.
God.
That's
It
great.
depends on
That's
the
great.
personality.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now it's like cute because I'm like so lovable.
Renee's over there smiling. She just took a drink. It's okay, man.
Oh my God. She's good.
I'm good.
she's...
As I'm playing the music and DJing the walk-up songs. Mm.
Oh my God.
But wait, aren't we doing Banana Ball this year? Banana Ball tournament? Aaron. No, none
Okay,
of
this time we're coming.
I'm coming for
Come
you,
to
dude.
Texas.
Mateo honestly says of all his baseball career at a ripe 12 years old, that was the best experience he's ever had.
You know, you should just
I
have
believe it.
us come out with y'all.
And we didn't
like, as
win a
special
single
guest.
game, mind you.
What's that? What would you say, Renee?
We didn't win a single game, mind you.
Yeah, I heard that from a lot of people. I mean, and that sounds bad. I heard it from I
It's
think
hard.
Lathan. I think Lathan was on a team, Lathan the kid umpire, and I don't think they won too many. But Lathan came up to me and was like,
No, they didn't.
I think we lost every game, and we had so
Oh,
much
wow.
fun.
I'm going to have fun.
All right. I think we should do this once a week. This is fun. Is this only moms in the group, or is there more moms?
This
We have a couple
this is
more
a
moms in our
We
group
have a
chat.
couple
This
of
is a
more,
group
yeah.
chat.
We do.
this is actually a podcast episode, dude. So this is
No,
going to be
it's
an
not.
episode that
We said
Nah,
the entire time, like, we
Hilarious.
think this is going to be the most hilarious podcast. And I don't know if, like, Aaron's ready for all of it. Like, because we're
Yeah.
a lot in general in our group chat.
Yeah.
So it's,
Our voice notes alone are out of control.
They cannot be
yeah.
leaked.
See, I need to be added to that chat. That's the one.
Definitely not.
No. You can't.
Yeah.
It's like too much to catch up. We have one in there, Katie, and she's always like catching up. She's like, okay, what did I miss? And then you got Renee coming in late too.
I'm always
and
Renee's
it's
always
just like,
late.
just don't even
Always
She has no idea what's happening.
no. And I'm
She's
like,
make-
wait. I'm like, so's Brian.
She's making a drink.
Like 3 days ago.
And
She's
I
making a
my
drink.
husband's like, what are you doing?
It's
And
like-
I'm like, I'm doing work. I'm sending emails. I'm really just like catching up on our chats.
Well, let me ask you, ladies, a question, and we'll wrap this episode up with this question because, Lord, we could really
could
make
talk
this a
all
weekly
day.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What has been the best moment for you and your kids in baseball? Like, what's that memorable moment so far for you?
I think for us, I know every player is going to go through some sort of it. When our son got cut, and at 10 years old, that is hard because they go through so many emotions of, am I good enough? Why didn't he give me a chance? Or why did he tell me? The coach had told him so many things, and he's like, why did he do this? And I think the biggest thing for me is like, he's going to have two options. He's going to go bitter and give up the game, or he's going to hustle. And I let him have like 24 hours. I said, take 24 hours, feel what you're feeling and everything. But I want you the next day to get back at it. And the next day, he got with one of our first hitting coaches here. He's in the Longview, Texas area. His name is Philip. And then he got back with a hitting coach who got drafted for the Yankees, Austin Green. And it was just nice to see him not give up, even though he had been told, you're not good enough. You're not going to amount to anything. All the things that you probably shouldn't say, like Gadir and I had said before, you shouldn't say to a kid, especially at that young age. He took that and said, I'm going to prove you wrong. And he proved
that wrong and went into a next season with, a team and everything. And just to see the weight of the stress off of his shoulders, that's one thing I've always wanted him to understand as a player, that this is not your job. You're not getting paid to play baseball.
That's
You
right.
should love the game. And no matter, you're not getting scouted. And I think that's where we kind of saw the coach. He wasn't coaching the team anymore. He was managing them. And that's when it kind of crosses the boundaries a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, a kid should never hear anything. Like, they're going to hear so much as an adult of why they're not
Oh, God,
successful,
yeah.
how they can't be
Yeah.
successful. Like,
Yeah.
kids should walk into adult life feeling very confident about their abilities and their self. So I know I'm preaching to the choir.
It's interesting that you say that, because I want to say, when you're asking me like what is the positive or like something memorable or whatever with baseball for us has really just been like the roadmap. So like all these really cool experiences. And I mean, like, not to get all cheesy, but like honestly, if I didn't have it, I wouldn't have met all of you.
Yeah.
Because of
Aw.
Mateo playing and us having so much fun making
Look
content
at Vincent.
Yeah.
and trying to, connect. I would not meet you guys, and you guys are my rocks because you understand what I go through. My two best girlfriends, love them to death, but like their kids do other things and they're younger. Like they're not in this world, so they don't understand it. And until I've met you guys, I didn't have that. So like for me personally, being able to meet all of you,
I did my makeup today.
and
Oh
I mean,
my
even
gosh.
Aaron too. Like we'll be like
Maybe I have
messaging each other about random things about baseball because it's like we get that, right? But as far as Mateo goes, like I have zero expectations for like baseball future. Like if it happens,
Yeah.
awesome. But I just think, I don't know, the kid's been blessed. Like he met Aaron, he's met Vincent numerous times. We've got a bunch of pictures and video, and he's met all the Savannah Bananas through like being a field reporter and just
Oh my
these
gosh, I
different
love
things
that.
that we have had the opportunity to do just because we're like, we asked, or we were in the right time. And that had nothing to do with his talent or skill level or anything with baseball, but because of the love of the game.
Yeah.
So,
That's
I
it.
mean, literally for me, like those memories where like he'll turn and look and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I just interviewed Coach Rack. Like, that's crazy. And I'm like,
That's insane.
or like literally when he met you, Vincent, he's like, dude, I twerked next to like umpire Vincent. That's
Can I
crazy.
tell you?
That's my favorite.
He's
When
like
you went
telling
viral,
kids, he's telling
when you
kids
went
on his
viral,
baseball team these things. And they're like,
Vincent,
no, you did it. And he's like, receipts.
I know.
Create a video. Right.
I
So
remember
we need
watching
that
Vincent's
more.
video when he went viral for like the dancing. I think it was like when it first came out.
Oh, yeah.
And I literally watched it for like a good hour. I was hyperventilating from laughing so hard. And my husband's like, what are you watching? And I'm like, this is me when I've had like 10 shots and I'm not mommy anymore. And I'm just like, I'm pulling out. But this is also why my knees are so bad right now. So I think that they can pop, lock, and drop it, and we can't do that anymore.
They just pop. They just pop.
They just
Guys, I
pop.
got going. Hey, I just want to let you know I spent half of my lunch break with you today. You're special. Never change. Keep being great role models for your kids and other parents. Okay, just keep leading the example. Don't fall down to their level. Positive energy in, positive energy out. Always remember, you're gonna have bad days. You can change your circle, and eventually you change enough circles, you can change the world. Just one day at a time, one smile at a time. Aaron, thanks for getting me in this, whatever this is, podcast.
All right, Vincent.
Y'all have a great day, guys.
Happy
Bye,
trails.
man.
I'll talk to you soon, dude.
All right, man. You're going to
See
exit me
ya.
out, right?
You can just end the call.
You got to dance out though.
Oh yeah, you gotta dance out.
Just
I don't know if I have any music.
Just
See,
close
there's
the
my
app.
Oh, let's go.
Just close it out.
Yep, close it out.
Bye.
Bye.
I think we were
So funny.
I think we were
How
He
about
was
that?
like,
that's the first
what
time
did I just get into?
He's like, what am I? Aaron,
Yeah,
I didn't tell him.
Lions
more
Den,
often
poor
with
guy.
us.
He had no idea.
I know it.
That is so
yeah,
good.
I wanted to surprise you ladies. Chow.
thank
He's
you.
so funny.
You're welcome. Chow, I'd like to hear yours. Your most memorable moment so far.
Honestly, oh my God, I'm gonna be so cheesy too, but
Oh my goodness, we need
I don't have
tissues.
a specific moment, I would say, but I think the whole baseball journey with my kids. Car rides, like little moments that they've had successes that they didn't believe they could ever feel.
Yeah.
That and just I don't know if like your boys are very talkative, mine are not. So for
Mm-mm.
them to have a passion that they can communicate with each other. My husband grew up playing football. We watch the NBA. We are not big baseball people, but for them we are. So I think just I don't know, being a family that has something that we all love together because
Mhm.
of what, my boys love. I really think that as a memory is really the best
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah.
Aww.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's so sweet.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Gadir.
Oh, did I not say it before? Oh,
I don't think so. Unless I
I don't
missed
even
it.
remember. I don't even remember.
Everybody else is.
I don't think you did.
No.
I
No, I
don't
don't
even
think so.
remember. Okay, well, honestly, my favorite portion about I'm just gonna use my oldest as an example is facing adversity all the time in this world of baseball, whatever it is, and it's something that we didn't push him to do. He wants it, and so it's always like watching him week after week and lessons and pitching and all this stuff. And my favorite part is watching him go up against a ranked national team that has guys that are like, I mean, my kid is not, 6 feet
Yeah.
at 12 years old and not
Mhm.
250 pounds. Strike out one of their most amazing hitters. And it was just like a big telling moment
Wow.
for him that I could do it.
Yeah.
I can do it. And he did. And it's just him against him. He's always proving himself for himself and his journey. And I love watching it.
No.
I think that's something that all kids need to learn. It's just them versus
Yeah.
themselves. Like
It is.
They're
Yeah.
they're not playing for the coach. I mean, they're being coached by the coach, but I think that's something that I agree with everyone that you want your players to know that the game does not define them at the end of the day. That last out that they struck out, I remember we had a World Series and my kid was that one that struck out. And, I remember him getting in the car. He never cried after games, never got mad, never. He shed tears because he said, my team and the coaches relied on me. It was my fault. And I'm like, no. You win as a team, you lose as a team. And moments like that are going to come and go. And I think that's what you just want for them to going forward as a player is to.
Oh my God.
Can you hear me?
I can't believe it.
Hilarious. Are you at the dentist still?
I
No,
know.
I've had a day. I've had a day. I don't
Hey,
even want to.
so Mark,
Can you hear me
this,
okay?
I'm
Yeah,
shocked.
yeah.
This is crazy.
I'm getting this one.
I feel like we should have met a
I
long
need
time
to
ago.
I need to screenshot something.
Seriously, we
Oh
have to do like a pick, like a group pick.
We
No,
do.
no.
We have to do a pick.
no.
Where did
No,
Tracy
man.
go? Hi, Mark.
How are you all?
I'm good, dude.
I didn't know I was walking. I didn't know I was getting in on all this.
Oh, you welcome to the
So
Lion, the
Mark,
Thunderdome, the Lion's Den.
Yep.
Oh
this is
man,
the
no.
baseball mom group I said we needed shirts for.
This
We
is who
need
you've
shirts
been
for
making
our
fun of.
group.
That's
Oh
cool.
my
That's good.
God.
Well, it's nice seeing you guys.
That's
Oh my
funny.
gosh.
I've had a really really long day. I'm not even gonna try this. My
Yeah.
son was in a dentist. That was fine, but like it's just been a lot going on with just I mean who tells you that
Ugh.
when you start some videos and then you get fired and you start doing your business stuff and you know what I mean, you talked about this. It's been one of them that with the Soleros and oh gosh, like if y'all could just see what goes on behind the scenes from what started as just some fun videos. I mean, it's been 4 years, so I'm a lot more
Yeah.
peppier in this,
And you were
but
working like a nine
yeah,
to
it's just been
five. I think you
I've seen
talked
your
about it.
yeah. I was
Mm-hmm.
working. I was worked at a utility company as
You
an
were in like a
electrical
little
designer.
like a
I
cubicle
was in a
type job.
cubicle and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, for 17
See, I've been an
years,
OG. I've been an
and then
OG for
yeah, then
years.
those those shirts did good, were doing all right, and then it was hard to focus on anything else. You were just on that all the time. And then it was like, well, if you just do the videos and wear the shirts, you could kind of sell it without really trying to sell it. So it was working. It was fun. And then it got into sunglasses and then just other things. And then I'm traveling and I'm always on the phone. And everybody wants you to promote their tournaments. And then you don't have time to do videos anymore.
Mhm.
It's just it's like having two companies. You're the president of both of them, and then by the way, you're also the marketing
Mm-hmm.
guy, and then you're a coach,
Yeah.
and you're a parent. I mean, it's a lot,
It's
and
first world problems. It's
It,
first world
yeah,
problems here.
it is
Oh
first
Jesus,
world
yeah.
your
problems.
social battery must be so drained.
oh, my head is I'm just
But it is
but
true. Like,
I mean,
yeah, it is true.
oh yeah, no. Well, the thing about it is that it was, and then it was true for me, and then it's so geared towards like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 with parents. I think with because when they get a little older, you kind of get out of the stuff that and everybody's kind of doing all the stuff, and Jalen's he's almost in high school now, and so now you've got like other issues that you can't really bring up right now because you
Yeah.
don't want to
Mm-hmm.
let nobody know like, oh, I'm ready to talk about us now. Like I'll wait a couple of years and be like, tell you about that. But
Hmm. Let me tell you about
but
freshman
yeah,
ball.
I'll tell you right
That's
now, the
funny.
Good
fundraisers
stuff.
in, everybody's checkbooks come out. Who's got the biggest one wins. So,
Hey, look, archive it
Yep.
all. Make the
no,
videos now
no.
and then release them.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I
Hey,
have a lot
archive
of
them.
them that I haven't sent out, and I've been going down the list, and I'm like, man, I could probably post that now. It's been like 3 years, and so, but I mean, I've
Yeah.
used
Oh
some
Hmm.
people's
my
names and
gosh.
I mean, the level of darkness
Ooh.
that I got to with this stuff that I wasn't able to send out. It's like I can't post that. Like it's so bad.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
start one day they will. You'll have the hidden tapes come out.
My drafts,
Put that on the
I have like
OnlyFans.
30
Okay.
drafts that I can't release.
You
It's
can't
like
Do you
when
release
you get
any
really?
of
caught,
them.
right? And then the content idea comes to you, and then so you shoot it, and then when you're like, sound mind kicks in of like, oh man, I might offend somebody with that. I probably should hold on to it for a
And
little
it's
while.
never
Yeah,
because
that's
So
what.
it stays in the
I don't even
drafts.
care about offending other people. It's about my kids at the end of the day. I don't want to
Yeah.
affect them in
Well,
any way
you just
negatively.
gotta tweak the
And that's
story
the
a
only
little bit, add a couple stories
yeah.
No, but
together, and
See,
throw them all off.
you're good at doing that. I feel like I'm like, I have a petty moment and I'm like, oh, you just snubbed me and you just
Oh,
like hit
like
me
the
in the
people
shoulder.
in my
I'm going to
hometown.
put you on blast and then ask for the Lord's Prayer later. I'm just, yeah,
Oh, you can
just,
tell when you
yeah.
aggravate people because they disappear. You don't see them
Oh
anymore. Like it's
yeah.
gotten real small out
Hmm.
Yeah.
here with me, and I didn't do. The thing about it was that I wasn't. I wasn't any different. I was doing all the same stuff in the videos as everybody else. Like I was the same dude. I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna be like I didn't do. I just sat back and
Yeah.
went. Well, to be fair, I was pretty chill with my kid. He was really easy to deal with. But with like everybody else,
Yeah.
I would just sit back and I'm like, why are you? I always tell everybody, I said, I'm gonna wait till 12 before I start caring. But like you still go home and you still are like, oh my god, what she did, she never drops it off, and then it's like, why does he care so much? But the
Truth.
people do, man, they do. But
I
what
think
were
Yeah.
my
you all
favorite one you
Here's
did
It's
who
an
was on
else.
group
extension of
me's.
them.
And well, I think
Gracie,
those
what were
before
group
you
That's a
Vincent was
me's?
lot.
talking
Oh,
about,
people get mad about those group me's because they're like some of the parents like just want it to be about baseball, and the other ones want to have fun. And it's like, well, I can't remember what kind of socks we needed because such and such was talking about the party
no,
last
you have
night.
a separate text chat. Everybody knows
Oh,
that.
I know,
You
but
wait,
type
like
what
it
you post
never
what you
works out
like.
but
that
here,
way.
I hate the ones. I hate the ones that like here in Texas, it'll be like overcasted, whatever, maybe a drop of rain. And you'll have people, hey, I know practice is in like 2 hours. Are we having practice? And I'll respond like, yes, Susan, we're gonna practice in the rain. There's nothing wrong. Is
Yeah.
your
Aaron,
little
And
Aaron.
everybody
Timmy going to
complains
melt?
about that.
Is he gonna melt?
Everybody's at home like,
But then,
God, I hope it gets rained out. And then when they get there, everything's
Yeah.
fine.
yeah, but then
It's
they'll
just kind of like,
complain when the kids don't get practice in.
Oh,
And see,
everybody
coming
complains
when
Well,
I
about
played like
everything.
growing up,
Here's some. How old
yeah,
are your all's
when I
kids? I didn't mean
played,
to interrupt. How old are your all's kids though?
no, you're good. Mine's
12.
10.
And
I
so,
have
12,
a 9 and
12,
12.
9, and
Yeah, you're
5.
getting ready to get to. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you're getting ready to get to the level of there is not a ton of practices. It's like you're going to go to high school and practice all the
Mhm.
time, and then travel
Yeah.
ball goes away. You ain't starting travel ball until
Yeah.
May, and so that happens at like
Yeah.
13 and 14. You're about to, um.
You're about to phase
Anyway,
out.
somebody
Yeah.
texted
Oh,
me.
but we play year round in California.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
right.
about to
no,
say
and
y'all are
and a
different.
lot of yeah, but the thing is though is here's the thing. It's not like the major level players in the different states. They all play year round, no matter what's going on in their state. Now the double A
mhm.
kids and even the triple A, it's like, well, like we're gonna shut it down here because we're all playing basketball. There's a lot of
Mm.
kids in Kentucky that just don't play Kentucky. They'll go like, but we do that, and a lot of people will. But those double A, I know some people out here that are like, well, we just do 3 days out of the year or 3 months out of the year because they want to play all the sports. So there are like different,
See, we have
and
teams
I don't
like
think a
that
lot of
too.
people yeah, well, and that's kind of been my thing with people is I'm like, you don't really understand the levels of travel ball unless you've been around the country, because a lot of it is the same in the different, but it's the different levels. Because I just personally think there's too many levels in travel ball. I think it just needs to be travel ball and then rec ball, and that's never going to be like that because everybody was
That's
like, well,
it.
we can't beat these
Yep.
better teams, so we're going to downgrade and just go play in this, Division II
Yeah.
NCAA basketball level, or now we're Division III, and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
and all it is just because you're that's how you keep the teams in the tournaments, so the tournament directors can have fat
Mm-hmm.
tournaments and make more money. And listen, don't get me wrong, those are fun, but then you've got the other ones that are like, well, they'll just travel, and then it becomes, oh well, they just got all the money, and then it's a fundraising schools, and then everybody complains about everybody everywhere. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, no matter what
Hmm.
you do,
So
Hey,
what are
everybody's
your
always
thoughts
mad
about
about something.
what are your thoughts about those national teams that will literally pull the best kids from
Hot
everywhere?
I think
sound.
And
they're
I'm not
I
going
Like
to
think
the
name
they're
any
hey,
current.
specific.
honestly,
I'm
I'm
not going to
doing
name
them
any
right now. I'm
The
doing it.
specific,
what
I'm
is
doing it
it? The
right
but
now.
banditos or something?
Yeah,
but
listen,
they
I'm
The
will
Dirty
going
literally
after
pull
Ballers.
them.
that.
I got
And
kids
how
from all over the
and
country.
these kids, I mean, they look like they're your guys' size and they're
It's a
12. And so
it's a
like
They're
little
blast.
blast.
Mateo, who's like
It's
95
so
pounds, is
so
like,
much fun. It's so much fun. Like it's the best baseball. It's the umpires are the
Yeah.
best. The kid, there ain't no speakers anymore. There is canopies and there's a game changer, but
Oh,
but
Renee,
it's
we
it's
can't
such
join.
a it's such a mature level of it where it is like, oh my God, are
Yeah.
they not really treating these kids like little professionals? I've had parents reach
they
out to me
do.
about what their kids with promotion of NIL deals with my sunglasses, and I'm not,
Yeah.
listen, it's a lot of fun and
Well,
everybody
especially
knows their
because
Yeah.
role.
NIL has changed its rules now.
hmm
So
Yeah.
people can capitalize
But,
on the NIL versus like back then when I played, you couldn't touch certain things until you were kind of out and everything. You had to be very
Yeah.
careful
yeah.
about
Yeah.
it.
Well, there's different laws in different states too, and I've got into that
Mm-hmm.
because we do have a lot of athletes wearing them Soleros of mine, and you kind of got to know what to do and what not to do, and it's not really that difficult, but
Yeah.
it is getting younger. Like it started off at pro, and then it went to college, and then high school, and you can see it because I mean, there's kids that I know all the time. People fly kids around, like and just say, "Come on
That's
out
what
here
I'm
Hmm.
and play in this
saying.
tournament," and they
Yeah.
do that, and if you all were to ever play against those level of teams, oh my gosh, you wouldn't be able to stand those parents over there because they would
Right.
just ruin you all because they are
Mm-hmm.
ruthless. It's a business.
Yeah.
And then you have the rec
It
ball
is. It's a
areas
management
in
team
the
for
double
them.
A.
It's
Well, because
yeah.
most travel ball
And
teams are
so
They're
like,
not.
we're
also
gonna
like you're saying about multiple levels, how are those lower levels supposed to compete
they
against
can.
those
Yeah.
powerhouse programs that
Well, here's the thing.
they can't?
I'll tell you how it is. A lot of places in different states they get these coaches and then everybody gets all been at the lower level. They're like, well, my kid didn't get to play, I'm gonna make another team. We all know that stuff. And so they all spread out. And then all of these coaches in this area, because most people play the same teams every weekend within an hour radius, and then they go to
Yeah.
one Florida trip a year, and they're like, we played in space or
Yep.
whatever,
Space
or
Coast.
Grand Park for a
Space
year, yeah, Space
Coast.
Coast, and wherever you want to go,
We did
and it's
it.
like we're a travel ball team, and it's like, yeah, but your other team just kind of flew down with you, and now you've got 3 of the Kentucky team, whatever. The way they compete, the problem is that type of level, a lot of those parents are like, well, I'm gonna create another team. So then you got all these different people creating all these teams. Well, then it's like 2 good kids on every single team, and if they don't like this team, they go over here, and then this one goes over here, and they just do this all the time. Just do what East Cobb does. They got 3. They're like, we're gonna put all the good kids here, just like we did when I was growing up. I was on a B team, that didn't make the A team. And then you
That's
have
right.
okay, here
Yep.
they are. But the parents in that
Yep.
level are like, well, I can't play for him. And all the moms then want to go everywhere, and the kids. It's just the whole thing. It's all about where you are and who's where in the county. It's all about the job. And but if you could just have one, like I told everybody, I said, just put them all, the good Kentucky kids, on one team in this area, and then do the second level. And if
Yeah.
they are doing better, then move them up, give them a chance to play in a tournament, because some of these kids might have basketball or football, but we can't never do that out here. And it's the same thing in all these southeastern parts of the country, the states. Then you have like a select few that are just like, screw this, we're just going to go out of the state and just play everybody else because we're sick of playing these teams, and we're good enough because we're sick of beating them, and they're just mad at us all the time, and oh my god, we jumped around tournaments. That's exactly what's good, and it's been in every single state that I've been to. And then all these parents are having all these stories, and then they, and so they write me and tell me about it, and I'm thinking, wow, it is everywhere. And
I'm curious about the ones that go overseas too to go play those games. You
yeah,
have
like
like
that's
this Facebook baseball play, and I'm like, is that
Yeah.
stuff for real? Do people like
yeah,
really
yeah.
Oh
go
yeah.
Well, I
like
mean, in
that
Hawaii, I
Dominican.
met
level? I mean,
like all the Puerto Rican teams and the Hawaii teams, and everything. They're out of state, but
yeah,
they did all, like they come here. I was in Indiana, and a Hawaii team was playing, and
Yeah.
oh
then
wow,
all the I had a whole team just recently in Space Coast, and none of them, they were all from Puerto Rico, and I don't think any of them really spoke much English,
see,
and they
I
travel,
do
and then
remember
a
at
lot of those
Space
Team
Coast
USA
we
teams
had
will go
one,
out.
yeah.
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 But I always see that like, hey, sign your kid up for this tournament. It was like in Japan, and I thought,
Those are good. Well, not that.
whoa,
I mean, not in
like,
They're really
Japan, but
good.
so if you can sign
or
your
some, it
kid
was
up to let him
something.
go
I'm like,
play,
that is like way
it's
out
good.
there.
That's the best thing to do. If you're
Yeah.
on one of them teams and you want to get your kid noticed, you need to go get him, let him play on a PG event that you get invited to on your email, because
Yeah,
everybody's like, I ain't paying. It's fine, because those parents are like, most of the time the kids are a little more advanced. And so you start
yeah.
networking out there, and it's like, man, we really had a good time with you this
They,
weekend. Would you be interested in coming and play with us, next year? And if you just stay in touch with them, it's kind of not bad. It'd be like, no, we're gonna go play with this team
yeah.
this weekend, and I always tell kids and parents, I'm like, it's like a job. It's like if you're gonna be going to a job, you might not get that job you wanted because some other person got it. Like I happened to me, and I was more qualified. Well, that's like playing shortstop, and then you might have different bosses, and that's where the different coaches come into play, because when you start off, all it is just a parent who just played some baseball normally, and that's nothing wrong with that. They're just like, I can coach.
Yeah.
And then it starts off and it's easy. And then as you get older, it gets harder. And 13U is a lot different than 8U, and there's no reason, I don't think,
Yeah.
to pitch kids. I think you just let kids play everywhere until about 11 or 12, and just let them all play. And then when 13 happens, be like, this is what I need out of you, because there's too many kids that are pitching way too much, and half of their team's not even pitching because they ain't even good enough to pitch at 9, so they're never going to pitch again by most of these parents. So they're going to stick with the top ones. But you're just wearing them kids' arms out. You might have a diamond in the rough over here you don't know about. He just takes a little time to get there.
You need
Yeah.
you need an
Yep.
ebook. You need to have an
I
ebook
go
come out.
on. I've covered every topic.
He never stops.
He
He
knows that.
started
He's
he
just like,
started
I'm
this
just
whole
listening to him like, you
conversation.
need something coming out for parents, because like he's just got like stories and stories
I'm
and
doing a
stories and
podcast. I'm trying a podcast thing. I'm gonna do like a video or two. I don't want to be a podcaster. I would just like to generate some topics, and because I think I'm really good at
Yeah.
looking at it from different angles. And me, I probably just need to do it with
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
honestly, Aaron. But
And he'll argue with himself. Like he'll give you
I
both
could
angles
make a
and then he
case.
argues with
You're
himself.
right, because I could go either way. I could see the positive in playing three months out of the year. I could see the negative playing in 3 months
Yeah.
out of the year. I can see the positive playing all year long. I
Mm-hmm.
can see the negative playing all year long, and I could
That's
see it
right.
at different
Yep.
levels.
Yeah.
And I think it's
See,
Yep.
all
it's
about
sad
what's
too
right with your
because
kid. You gotta listen to the
yeah, this
Yeah.
kids.
is
You
our
gotta
first
let
year
you
to like
can't
take
tell them.
off.
I think it's a
This is our
delay. I don't
first
mean to
year to
keep
take
talking over
off,
y'all.
and it's
Sorry.
like sadly I'm kind of missing like playing full time. Like I don't know what to do with myself on the weekends other than okay, I got to check in with my clients. I got to go send some
Yeah.
videos for somebody, but I'm like I kind of miss it as,
Oh,
as crazy as it
I'm gonna
gets
miss
at times.
this. Well, and that's kind of what, I've got going on here. So my thought was, well, if I'm going to do these videos for I can't do them forever. I don't even it's fine. Like I'm
Yeah.
fine. I've done more. People just think it's like I can't believe we're talking. I'm like, God, I did that video 3 years ago. Like I don't care.
He's like
So my thought
I need
was,
to
yes.
retire.
So me getting started on this
Yeah.
organization that I'm doing, this Daddy Ballers thing, which there's some big talk going on with this now, and it really could be growing. I was going to have a separate elite level of this, and then have just like let's just get some good people involved to do it, because my thought was I'd like to at least leave something to be like, dang, like that's a really good organization. How did that get started? Oh, well, you remember that dude that did those videos back in the day, and all the parents kind of trusted him, and because I was good. I've been really good with the kids and the parents, and I've been really good at managing all the personalities. Because if you could
Hmm.
just get out in front of it, and that's I've literally look. I was at Space Coast this past weekend. There's a few little things going on, and I knew these people well. I completely knew what was going on because I ended up sitting some kids and not playing all of them. And I went right up to
Mm-hmm.
those parents and I said, here's what's going on. And then I talked to their kids individually and I said, this is why I did what I did.
Mhm.
And, listen, I'm sorry, but like, you're going to have to learn this stuff. And this is what you're going to have to know getting older and blah, 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 blah. And it just seems like, and it was so nice. And nobody was talking about
Yeah.
Yeah.
anybody. And it was like, that's all you got to do. Because certain people you got to be upfront with, more than others. It just like certain kids you got to coach different
Hmm.
than others. And I've
Well,
had
you
a
got to be
lot of
Yeah.
different type
transparent.
of
I mean,
people.
that's
Yeah. And,
yeah.
you got to know, even if your child, like if he's good enough to play on a team, like you can't penalize him because you're afraid of what other people are going to say. But I'm very
Mm-hmm.
fair with that. But I've been doing this for so long now that my son is fine. He's like, wherever. And I know not a lot of people are like that, but
Hmm.
most of the kids that play for me get that way. And I've been seeing it and I'm thinking, okay, if I can just get good people involved and not charge everybody out the ass for this, and then just back up and be like, here's a very fair and well-ran organization across the country that started with some videos that were funny at first and they became informative. And then that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
where my head is with all of this. And sure, I'll still pop in and out with things and whatever. I'll be everywhere next year, but it's like I'm never going to be able to do this, and I'll phase out, and I know it. And now everybody's a
Yeah.
baseball comedian, and so this is me getting real with y'all because most of my podcasts are like, "Oh my God, that one you did when you were hitting the ball really hard to your son, it was the best one I ever did." And I'm like, whew. So that's so I'm taking it, my man. So not to bring everything down,
Hey,
but I mean I'm trying to do
listen,
something right with
I'm
this.
dead.
Mark started with saying if you had any clue of what goes on behind the scenes, like if we just had a sneak peek of what goes on in between
Oh
those ears,
gosh,
like,
oh
I
it's
mean,
awful. It's e-commerce.
we
It's
couldn't
just
expose the world to that.
there.
Listen, I'm
All
about
I
to
right,
go.
Mark.
Hey, I have videos. I'm about to go film a softball team for some content so I can see, like, this is what's behind the scenes that goes on that people don't
yeah,
see.
yeah,
But it is true. Like, I worked really close with our tournament director. And I will say the stuff that I heard come from other parents' mouth that they would do for their kid, the bashing of the organization, the toxic environment. I'm
yeah.
like,
And if
what did
parents,
I say?
you didn't there. I don't think I've been fortunate enough to kind of see it from the tournament director's standpoint. I see the amount of work some of these dudes put in, and girls, but
Mhm.
they're all over softball, baseball, rec, seen it all. And there are certain people that do it so well. And, there is so much work that goes in, and the amount of phone calls these guys get, it's like
Mhm.
literally
Oh,
pre
It's
weekend,
insane, I'm sure.
during the
Yeah.
weekend, in between when you're at home,
Mhm.
afterwards, or whatever. It is just, and I look at these dudes, and it's a lot, but that could be a whole episode of just life behind the travel ball, because not only
We just
that,
need to do this more
let's
often.
do
This
it.
is like this
I
is your
like that.
content, Aaron.
yeah,
Yeah, it
There
it
you
is.
is
go.
cool
Well,
seeing
Mark
you
and I have
all.
talked
Like, I've
about.
seen you all follow and click. It's like, oh my god, there they are. So that's pretty neat.
Well,
I
Mark
think
and I
I
have
had a
talked
heart
about.
attack just seeing you pop up. I was like, oh
So,
my
Mark, this
God.
started with us saying we would want your travel ball mom persona as a guest to sit with us. We'd have
I
to have a
That
know.
would be
towel,
funny.
Yes.
and she's a
Like, I would,
Oh
queen.
my God.
Does
because
she have
I've
a
already
name,
got
or is she?
takes
Yes.
on, like, listen, Miss Renee, you one of them moms. I'm telling you, I could see it, and I'm watching, and I'm like, boy, I would love to interview some of the parents on you,
You
because
should.
she's over y'all.
They love me.
Oh
Which
man,
team? Which team?
Oh,
yeah.
Aaron, bro.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know. I'm just saying.
He done opened a can of
It
worms.
wasn't. It wasn't.
Anytime
It
I
wasn't
see
her. It
you
wasn't her fault.
win.
It wasn't her. It wasn't her fault.
I'm just
No, not
kidding.
at
I'm
Anything.
all.
totally
I think
kidding.
my
Not
my
her
stance
baby.
on
No, not her
my stance on
baby.
travel ball would
Her
actually
baby is the
surprise
best
people,
ever.
but I actually care more about
Oh,
development.
Yeah.
mine would
But
too. Like, I just told my. I
I could
just
care
told my
less about
son.
kids.
A friend of mine that a kid I know, real good kid, just he just hurt his arm, and I was telling my son about it, like, literally like a minute. And he was like, "Oh my God!" He was like, "You got it." I said, "Yeah, dude." And he goes, "Why?" I said, "Because they play too much at a young age." I said, "You play too much." I was like, I told
Hmm.
him that, and I was like, that's why I'm so concerned. I was like, because I don't care if he plays. Dude, let's be honest. If one parent in this thing could get their kid seen by him, it's me. And I'm gonna tell you right now, he's gonna end up being some smart, business manager doing IT stuff or something, because I've
Mhm.
seen the kids at that level, and they're all 6'10". You know what I
Mm.
mean? They're like, I had a kid on my team right now. He's 6'3", 260 pounds,
Yeah,
and there's
that's
probably
Oh
50 of
my
those kids in the
gosh.
country at 13. And
mhm,
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
those are the
insane.
ones, and that's why I'm like, you take care of yourself, big guy. I'll see you soon, and it's just, I just want him. I don't want my son hurt. I don't want him to have surgery at 13.
Yeah.
I've never had surgery.
Mm-hmm.
right.
I
Yeah.
put him at second base, and I sit him a lot, and we watch his pitch count, and we don't let him throw a ton. And I don't care what it is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I couldn't tell you what World Series we won 2 years ago that was so important that he needed to
Right.
pitch in Panama City,
Yeah.
But I know what's
With
coming,
four
Right.
teams.
and I'm thinking he's gonna play high school, he's gonna play college. I
Yeah.
already know that. It's like,
Will,
okay,
God
he's
willing,
good, he's
right?
good,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
wants it. He don't play any other sports, and I'm fighting. And I know about 30 other kids right now in my hometown the same exact way, and
Yeah.
I know they're going to be the ones because and I don't know, man. I try to not take it serious. All I do is tell people this stuff, every
But
different
that's how we
levels
got
of it,
started, though. I mean,
and
wouldn't you think that's like
I
what
know,
Mateo do? I mean, like, I want to say when
Yeah.
Mateo was 8,
yeah,
we were starting to get really into it. That's why we started making content with his page, because I'm like, he's a kid. You can't get mad at a kid for
Yeah.
making fun of coaches and
yeah, and that's
parents,
going to
right?
help, and that's a whole
So
other
I just
Yeah.
topic
have
right
to,
there, Aaron. That
yeah,
right
Mhm.
I just
there,
have a
that's what
wig
people
on
look at
him.
that.
You're right, and I'd slap a
People
wig
look
on
at
him,
a
and he'd make
child,
fun of
yeah,
moms, and they're like, "Ooh,
Let's do it.
that's funny, right?" He's a kid, but so we can't get
yeah,
upset that he's making fun of us. And then it's evolved into what it is,
Yeah.
no,
because it's never
yeah.
been about, Aaron asked us a great question before you jumped on. He asked us like what our favorite, travel ball moment has been. And none of us on this call said it was because we won the World Series and we got all the bling and we're kids are
It was
master
the
of like
Yep.
friendships. I think it
it's,
was just hanging out with
It
people.
is.
I've had the
It was,
best
It's
time,
the
yeah.
friendships we formed
it's
and
in
like
I,
this
really
and with
yeah,
teams.
like we get to meet each other and like our kids get all these cool
Hmm.
opportunities, and I'm like, that's what it's been about. And so like if anything,
Yeah.
I take those moms and those parents and those fence leaning dads and let's laugh at ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's laugh at ourselves.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
no,
short.
for real.
yeah. Well,
Fence
and
leaning.
you're right because it's over, and even right now, those videos that
Yeah.
I do, they're more geared. A lot of them more geared towards the younger age, and then the group meets will always be funny and all that stuff. But it's gone. And people, you're starting to see people. This is just my age, because at 13, you're starting to say, okay, these kids are playing here more now. Wow, he's not playing baseball anymore. He's just a football player. Man, you ever think they do? You remember the arguments we had about, oh my God, in the beginning, and it was always a reality show. I was like, I pray that somebody at some point down the road puts me on something and just says,
I've been
just
asking.
narrate, just pop
We've
in.
been
And I'll be like,
trying.
Bravo. I'll take the lowest cable network, dude. Honestly, let's do this.
I've talked to TLC. I've talked to some people from TLC about it. They said you need a script. And I said, you don't need a script. You need.
No, you don't need a script to
Don't need a script.
No.
Well, to be fair,
The
you could have a
content
script, but
provides
there's
itself.
no way you would be able to be in a house where the real juicy stuff is. You know what I'm saying? Because those conversations behind closed doors, the level they get to. And nobody will admit that outside of that. Because we've been around, they start having alliances. It's like having, listen, it gets
and
out.
I thought about it. I've thought about it hypothetically. I'm like, all right, let's say someone reaches out and it's like, hey, can your team be on the show? So now I've got to take 12 NDAs to each family and be like, listen, sign this and we can be famous. They'd be like, hell no, because I don't want to put all my...
I would trash everybody. We talked about that.
Like the skeletons that they pull out of your closet.
Oh yeah, Miss Yoga Pant walking around. I'd be telling everybody.
Oh yeah,
you'll be on. I'd sign everything. I'd be, let's go. I would. I'd be like, guess what he did?
Listen, I wouldn't want them to pull out that I tripped a girl during a game and then shoved her in the bathroom. I wouldn't want them pulling out the dirty stuff I did as a person.
Choke up kids and everything else. Yeah, their own. I've seen the worst stuff.
I have the best as a player.
Script,
I was a little dirty.
The what script?
That's the best script. We're gonna have to. We're gonna send it to Mark.
I ain't saying any names.
Well, hold on.
I'm smart. Y'all can talk about it.
Hold on one second. Mom, that's what I got.
Thank you so much, you ladies, for spending your time with us. We have taken a lot of time, valuable time of yours, and I want to say thank you so much. And we got to finish out the show.
I loved it.
And
this was fun.
Listen, we started the show.
Mark's like, can I join y'all now?
He can. He is. He's here now.
He can be in our club. I don't think he'd survive our group chat though.
No.
He ain't ready.
Well, I got into a baseball mom club.
Mark, I'm gonna need
Dave.
Mark.
Thing.
I remember that. You were in the Facebook group.
Sorry, Aaron.
And then poor Aaron. He's like, all right, Aaron.
Okay, sorry. All right.
I'm just trying to close the episode. I know everybody's excited. And listen, if you like this, we can do this more. So let us know. Give us some content. We can do this live if we wanted to. We can do this YouTube live. And we can make it a weekly show.
Oh, wait, no. You can't do YouTube live. Good ear.
All right. Well, listen, ladies. The way we end every episode is we let you guys start it with play ball, and we're going to end it with I'll catch you on the slide. So I'm going to say until next time, ladies. Actually, Mark, you do it. I want you to say until next time, ladies.
Yeah.
And then you ladies have to say we'll catch you on the slide. Okay?
We'll catch you on the slide.
All right. Well, until next time, ladies.
We'll catch you on the slide.
We'll catch you on the slide.
There you go.
That worked.